Hi, folks. You are watching and listening to Men Without Hats on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales here on Sipping Off the Cup in beautiful Southern California. That gentleman out there is...
It's Todd Mabel, and rainy. Not this time it's raining in Colorado.
We're supposed to get rain. All we get are clouds. I don't know what this is. If you're wondering why we have hats, it's because he's wearing his Colombian ranch, his Colombian drug dealer hat, and I'm wearing... Ladies and gentlemen, today on our Sipping Off the Cuff, we have a very interesting brand that has been making some headway in social media. It is a female-driven brand. I believe the lady's name is Natalie. I'll find her last name here shortly. Steve Vera is also the gentleman involved in this brand. It is called El Gran Legado de Vida. Although, doesn't the website call it Tu Legado or something?
Yeah, I looked up Tu Legado, couldn't find it. I just looked up El Gran Legado and found it. So I don't know. I'm a little confused by that.
Well, you know, this is your legacy. Legado means legacy. So I guess that's a play on words where they're making this your legacy and not just theirs. So it's
sure.
Everybody's tequila. The thing that makes it very interesting is that it's coming out of NOM 1123. That is Cascawin. For those of you who are Cascawin fans, you know that Siembra Valles comes out of there. Revolucion comes out of there. Trianon, which we've had years ago. I'm not sure if it's still the same distillery, but now if it was awesome then, it's probably terrific now. So anyway, I'm kind of at Wild Commons, another one that comes out of there that's we haven't been able to get. Anyway, I'm kind of excited because there is supposedly a Reposado and Añejo that we didn't receive. We only got the Blanco. So what we're going to do is it's an 80 proof. We're going to taste the juice first. Then put our hats on. We can keep our hats on. I just broke the seal on this one.
Yep, doing the same thing.
So we're going to try to taste the juice. I have had one or two brands out of this distillery. It's been a while since I've had Revolucion. Revolucion has kind of jumped distilleries a few times, but it really landed nicely on this one. And they've rebranded since the original bottles. And I have had Águila, I believe it's called El Águila is the one that's coming out of there. Águila Superior is the one that I've had. And that was, they make two versions of that tequila. One that is just a Blanco, and the other one is a Tahona version. This one is not made with a Tahona. So I poured mine in a Stasso Jarrito that I use normally for mezcal, but I like it because it's got a wider mouth surface. You've got your Glencairn.
Glencairn, yep.
So here we go on this Blanco. See if my head, oh, wow. Wow. Holy cow. Woo!
I get lots of green pepper.
Yes.
Like bell pepper is like the first thing that pops me in the face.
Well, it's green agave. That's what, you know, that's
the
fresh agave that we get. But yeah, it's like a green pepper, like you said, it was a bell pepper. And that, you know, it's funny because I never really put those two together. With the bell pepper here at the house. And it's like, yeah, you're right. That is like bell pepper. Wow, it's just clean all the way through.
Yeah. That's when the bell pepper. I went back in there when I was taking the Catador course. I ran around smelling stuff in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Smelling.
I should take one course.
Well, it's funny. I'm running around the grocery store like a weirdo sniffing stuff.
Oh, I've the new students. You should hear some of the ones that I'm getting now. They're just, the one thing they haven't been able to get is like a vomit or stale water. You know, because those are legit. You know, they're the aroma wheel. If you're getting vomit, that's not a good.
That's not a good thing. Yeah, that's not good.
Wow, this thing is just. I'm hoping it just opens up a little bit more because it's just really one-sided. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean. No. As far as we know, from the information that Steve sent us through email, this is not done with a Tahona. It is shredder and a roller mill, and they're fermenting in stainless steel vats without fibers. So it's not. It's more of an updated version as opposed to their traditional
Right.
styles of making tequila. Wow, this is just the depth on this though. It's
Yeah,
really dense.
really is.
I mean, it smells beautiful. You just smell this forever. Wow. I mean, if you know anything about Cascawin, if you've done any research on it, if you're big fans of the distillery, you know that they grow their own agave. They do things the right way. They're a very small distillery. I mean, there may be like 10 brands that are made there, maybe more than, less than, a little bit more than a handful, but that's it. They're not going to bite off more than they can chew. So
yeah. I like the fact that I'm not smelling like vanilla and some of the stuff that people will add. I don't smell those things. So that's a nice, that's kind of nice.
Neglect. Why is it every time I'm with you, I neglect legs and tears, and these, I don't look at them as much, but these are thin legs and tears. Nothing wrong with that. But I mean, it's pristine. You can see my camera here. It's very nice.
Uh-huh.
And it beads up nicely too on the glass.
Sure does. I mean, and it's crystal clear.
Yeah, it's like you're drinking. It looks like water. I mean,
it does. Really does.
Well, what do you think? You think we should dive in and see?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
There's some nice everything there. Like the first thing I hit with that, some nice citrus, like grapefruit.
Yeah.
Man, it just kind of moves through a whole bunch of things.
Well, it goes in sweet, and then just all of a sudden that green pepper just takes over.
Yeah.
I've not had anything this afternoon. I mean, right prior to coming on camera, I haven't even had coffee, so there's nothing extra on my palate. It's pretty clean. And it's like, wow, I gotta go in for a second pass, because that first one's just not enough.
Yeah. Ooh. You have some nice black pepper in there.
It's just clean. Even on the retro nasal, you're just getting the same you got on the way in. Way out. It's on the retro nasal, it's even denser.
Yeah.
I know that. I'll read you folks the information that Steve Era sent to us, but apparently they're not fermenting with fibers, but it feels like there's something fibrous, and it's almost got like a little bit of a mezcal kind of like aftertaste on the rear of the palate.
It really does.
I mean, it's got to be the character of the plant, obviously, because these folks are these guys at Cascawin, they're agave growers. I mean, that's what they do. So there's a lot of plant character and depth in this Blanco.
I mean, I notice it's cooked in this brick oven, so I wonder maybe it's picking up some of that from like a brick.
Is that what? Let me read the email that he sent to us, because they're so new, folks. You may have been following them on social media. I've been chasing them. I'm watching them. I had no idea they were at Cascawin. I didn't know that. The information we have here, deep well water is what they're using. And you know what? That's the other thing I'm getting, is a little bit of the minerality.
Yeah.
Getting that, Todd?
Yeah, oh, totally.
Roller mill, double distilled. Yeah. Stone brick ovens. That's the other thing. That's it. And for those of you that care, yes, it's additive free. Okay.
Yeah.
just
yeah, it's funny. You mentioned the well waters. Like, so I have well water where I live, and it kind of has some of those same notes. That mineral.
I would imagine Colorado well water is a lot better than any well water we used to have in New Mexico, because
that's pretty good. Especially where I'm at 8,000 feet. So
well, yeah, you're getting snow. I mean, you get runoff on whatever aquifer you have. That's feeding that well water.
Yeah,
that's all snow.
Speaking of, we just had a hailstorm in Estes Park, which is like 20 miles from me. they had to bring in snow plows.
No kidding.
Yeah, like if you go online, look at the pictures, it looks like it's midwinter. There's all these banks, and it's not snow banks, it's hail banks. It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, they only 5 inches of hail. It was crazy.
Every time we'd have hail in New Mexico, everybody's skylights would just break.
Oh, sure.
Skylight companies would be busy for months
Oh, yeah.
after one hailstorm.
Yeah, I believe that.
Everybody's skylights were broken, right?
Yep.
Anything else we want to say about this? There's minerality. There's green agave notes, which translate to like green pepper. Then turns into black pepper.
Mm-hmm. Like the aftertaste I'm getting right now, there's just a hint of sweetness, but it's really good. It's kind of balancing out that spice from the pepper.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of sitting there. It's not overly sweet at all. It's beautifully sweet.
This is so well balanced.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Wow, what a nice finish too.
Mm-hmm.
Like a medium to long finish. I'm anxious to know what the Repo and the Añejo have done.
Yeah, that'd be super interesting.
Steve, Natalie, if you're watching, which you probably will be, we want the rest of it. Todd and I will
Yeah, please.
volunteer. Yes, snow or sleet, whatever. We'll or monsoon. Wow. Lip and gum numbness are right there as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is everything you want from Cascawin.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Wow. Now you're a cocktail guy too. Several of our guys, several of our TJs are heavy into cocktails, and this Blanco, because of the characteristics it has, what would you do with it? And I know you come up with some really great cocktails.
First thing that pops to mind is a Paloma, just because the grapefruit in there would go well with that. But then taking that further, what do I do with this? Definitely add in like some sort of like a vanilla syrup or vanilla liqueur to kind of, because the fact that there's not a lot of vanilla here, but I kind of try to nurture that a little bit more.
Okay.
Kind of provide a counterpoint. The vegetal side, like a green pepper. I'd make a green pepper syrup, something like that. Yeah. I get weird.
What?
Yeah. So you basically just juice a green pepper and then make a syrup out of it. And like I do something like
evil man.
Thank you. That's such good.
That's unheard of. I've never heard that before.
I get weird. I really do.
That should be the name of your menu. Let's get weird. Wow.
Yeah, because like, or just
I would like to see you do that. Post it on Instagram.
Okay.
And make the cocktail and then name it something. Right. But let's get weird. I mean, that's crazy because it's brilliant. That's what I'm saying. He's doing it. Wow. This is more, I think, because of the well water and because of the green, the green agave notes, the green pepper notes. I mean, It's really rich in green pepper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very rich in green pepper. So anything you would do with,
that particular flavor a little bit more with this
bitter, I don't know, bitters. Would you use bitters on something like this? I don't know. I'm not
about use bitters. It would definitely use bitters for that. Like a grapefruit bitters would be cool.
Okay.
I've got a blackberry bitters. I think it'd be really fun with this. I make a blackberry bitters.
Ooh. You make your own bitters too?
I do. And it's fun. It's a blast.
You must have a lot of time.
No, actually, I don't.
I know why.
Yeah, and that's in the off-season thing. Like over the winter, that's when I'll do that.
So it's like canning for you. It's like
yeah.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Spring and summer, you have last year's harvest.
Exactly.
You're such a farm boy. Jeez. I'm not even going to hesitate. All right. This is a Brand of Promise nominee.
Yeah.
This is crazy good. I wish I had another bar for the brands that are coming out of there, because I have not been able to get Wild Common. I have not been able to get my hands on Siempre Valles, which is more the traditional version of their tequila, their style of tequila. I have had the Taona of Águila, I believe it's Águila Superior, and I have it stashed. It's in my. I stashed it because otherwise I would have, I would have finished it all. Because Águila Superior has two versions of that: the shredded version of it, and their Taona version, which comes in I believe that comes in a frosted bottle.
Nice.
And so I have that stashed, but I need to have more. I gotta try the newer versions of Trianon, which we loved. Like in 2013 was one of our first really great old school tequilas. And I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look at when I dig out my old bottles. I have to look and see what the distillery was, because I don't think it was made at 1123. I don't think it was made at Cascahuín to begin with. And it was still stellar. So I can only imagine now that it's gotten better. But Evolucion, I'm sure has gotten better. It was really good last time I had it, but they have completely rebranded. The bottle, the old style bottle is gone. It's now much taller and
nice.
It's more like Casa Noble's bottle.
I just noticed on they actually identify their tequilas being artisanal, which is something that's usually mezcal that I see that. I haven't seen this in tequilas.
I think it's because their distillery still does things. In other words, it's the opposite of industrial.
Right.
They're not mass producing a whole bunch of brands. They only have a handful of brands coming out of there. All right. So they're literally, anybody who's been to that distillery knows that it's a micro distillery. It's small.
It's awesome.
It's small to mid-size, and it's not even, it's not even the size of NOM 1414, Feliciano Vivanco y Asociados, which is much larger. They're small, and they do stuff that is very ancestral. I mean,
I love that.
Yeah, they have David Searle's ancestral tequila. They beat it with like mallets and bats.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, but it's like really, labor intensive. They don't even use Corona. They beat it to death.
I've had one. I had an ancestral mezcal a few years ago, and it blew my mind.
Yeah, the ancestral mezcals, and you and I have not had enough of them together. We had one. No, we hadn't. We did. We had one. I think Código is considered ancestral. No, it's artisanal.
Okay.
Ancestral is way deeper. Now that I know you've had one, I'll try to find this.
Oh, they're so good. They're so cool.
Yeah. It's labor intensive. It's tolerant. They're fermented with fibers, which Cascahuín does for for their ancestral version. They do it like mezcal, only it's considered tequila.
Right.
So, look at the legs and tears on the bottom of this thing.
Right.
This is still my first pour. And it's like, what's there to say? This is going to be an instant hit. These people, I hope they know what they got in their hands. We're going to have to get them on open bar, because I got to find out how they sourced this, what drove them to that distillery, because there's at least 100 of them that you can choose from.
Mm-hmm.
Some are probably more cost effective than others,
Yeah.
And it makes you kind of wonder what made them choose this distillery. I know another brand that is going to come out with a more artisanal version of tequila. And
Nice.
they're like reviving a distillery that kind of lay dormant for a while.
Oh, cool.
And they actually this distillery does have a Taona on site. So I would put them kind of like in the same realm as Cascahuín, as 1123. And it had some fame back in the day.
Huh.
So I'm kind of anxious to see how these old school distilleries who are bringing back the artisanal ancestral version of making tequila, what they come up with the newer generation of brand owners.
Oh, for sure.
That's what it inspires me, is that we got this new generation of brand owners who are falling back instead of going with the industrial mainstream stuff that
Yeah.
we're getting online. Because I don't know, you know, do you think something like this lends itself to creativity as a bartender mixologist?
Yeah, much more so than like a lot of the industrial stuff. I mean, the industrial stuff a lot of that tends to taste a lot alike, you know, and so the more unique stuff encourages us as the bar crew to get creative and get weird, you know, like, okay, what can I do with this kind of a thing? You know, that's where it gets fun.
I'm gonna have to hide this from me. I'm gonna have to go in my shed, in my you know, storage unit. I can't drink this. I can't. It's too good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Brand of Promise nominee. Again, the ins and outs, 80 proof, 40 ABV. The full name is El Gran Legado de Vida. El Gran Legado de Vida. And that's Cascahuin Distillery. If you're a Wild Common fan, if you're a Siembra Valles fan, you want this in your library, okay? If you're a Cascahuin fan, you want this up there with Revolucion, with Siembra Valles, all this. Nice little agave on the molded into the glass here, so nice. Simple. I'm gonna go on record now and say I want the Repo and the Añejo. I do. I want a full line because I've never been able to get a full line or a brand with a full line coming out of this distillery. So I'm not sure. I've never, other than the Blancos, I have not had any aged spirits coming from Cascahuin from 1123. I want it.
Yeah.
In fact, they also make Artenom 1123. Really? And I'm sure we've had that one. Artenom is a good friend of ours for a long time. Cuernito is one I believe we've also had, I think. But Artenom Selección 1123 we've had. Santanera, I don't think we've had. Águila Superior we've had. Siembra Valles haven't been able to get. Supremo, well, Águila Supremo, Águila Superior and Supremo I've not had. But Trianon I had years ago. Wild Common. Monte Agave is another one that I've been trying to get our hands on. And now that we have a bar, and I think Monte Agave actually does come in an aged version. So I'm jazzed. I want the rest of it. Okay. So anyway, do we have a price point on this thing? Like, again, it's so new, folks. You may not have even, unless you're following on social media, you may have not even seen this yet. I'm hoping it's available in Southern California, but I'm maybe through Old Town Tequila. I'm not sure. Yeah. I've not been able to get. How about you, Todd? Do you have a price point at all?
I have not. I've not yet. I'm looking around for one here. Yeah. Let me see if.
Oh, Gran Legado.
I wonder if I can even get it here in Colorado still. Some hazels.
Wow, it comes up. Blanco. It does come up on the Google search. So that means somebody's. Okay. Well, Total Wine.
Aha.
No way. Well, no, they have their own Legado. It's San Matias Legado. Oops. Oh. No, that's interesting. Well, it's, you know, there's no trademark infringement as far as I'm concerned, because it says one means one thing and one means another. So, no, the Blanco comes up, but only as a search. Not getting any price points at all.
Nope, me either.
Okay, well, hey, we're gonna tell you, that's our take. That's what, if you folks are watching this and you've had it, you know, or you got a bottle of it, what did you pay for it? Tell us in the comments. If you're watching us on YouTube, down below, leave us a comment, give us a like. It does help us with the algorithm. Hey, subscribe. It won't hurt you. It's free. It's free. It won't cost you any money. You know, unless, like I say, unless you're weird about commitment. And you can follow us on social media. You follow Tequila Aficionado on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can follow Todd on his Instagram as well. He lives up in northern Colorado.
Yep.
Where up in the high country.
Yeah.
And they call it high country for lots of reasons.
Oh yeah.
And so there you go. And leave us a comment. Let us know what you're doing. If you're listening to us on the podcast, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Share it with everybody. And whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.